It's everyone's favorite fire deck, Laval's. What's up guys, Abe here, and today I have a Laval deck profile. Now Laval has always been one of those archetypes that just kind of get, pushed to the wayside. I don't want to say they're not playable, but they definitely do need some, even though they have gotten new support lately, they do still need a lot of stuff to just make it a little bit more playable. I don't think Laval's will ever be meta unless they get some kind of broken card. But with a new card in Lightning Overdrive, and then some new cards from Ghosts from the Past, and some reprints in Ghosts from the Past, kind of made the deck more accessible. Especially because a lot of Laval deck kind of came out in Hidden Arsenal era and all that stuff. So it might be hard to pick up some of those cards. But yeah, but now with, like I say, reprints and Ghosts from the Past and a new card in Lightning Overdrive, that kind of helps out the deck a little bit. Kind of make, it's fun. It's a cool little fire deck. Some to play super casual. Not competitive at all. But nonetheless, it's still fun. And let's go ahead and jump into the deck profile. So, we're going to start off with the main deck, of course. We're going to play Triple Archer. So this is a new card from the Ghost from the Past. So when it's normal summoning, you get an additional normal summon of a Laval monster in addition to your normal summoner set. And the second effect is within the graveyard. You can pop a fire monster, and you can summon it from the grave, but then you can only summon fire for the rest of the turn. For the rest of this turn except fire monsters. So it's a neat card. You get additional monsters on the board. So like you can summon him, and then if you have something banished, you can summon like Cannon and then bring back something from the banished pile. Things like that. And also just to get him out, and then if you need to summon the Lakeside Lady or the Maiden or whatever, the Lakeside Lady one. Now you can go into 7s and 6s really easily, or 5s. So in this deck, it's pretty easy to summon 6 and 7s, and somewhat easy to summon 5s. You only have one level 5 synchro going to. I go into the dragon a lot. But nonetheless, it's still a good card. Like I said, you can provide an extra body on board. It does lock you onto fire, which kind of sucks. So that's why I try to make, especially the synchros, a lot more fire, or try to make them all fire. So that way it's a lot easier to go into, or you don't lock yourself out of summoning other stuff. But nonetheless, Laval Archer is a good card, or is a neat addition to the deck. The next card we play is the Laval Handmaiden, Volcano Handmaiden. So she's great because she has an effect with one conduction field. She's sent to the graveyard, you have another Laval monster, you can then send another one, one Laval monster, and you can just send her again, and then you just fill up the graveyard that way. And also she's a Rekindling target. So she's really good, and she's your level 1 tuner for the deck. And like I said, she's just another Rekindling target. For the next card we play, I like playing Triple Cannon just because it can summon something from the banning zone. Especially if your opponent's going to start banishing stuff. He can bring back stuff, and it can be one of your any Laval monster. So it was you banish one of your synchros, like Salamander, Dragon, or Dragoon, or even the new guy, the X-Lord. If you end up banishing him, or it ends up getting banished, you can summon him, and then pretty sure you could bring it back from the banish zone. They're all Laval. Even though the synchros are Laval, it still counts as a Laval monster. So that way you can get them back onto your field, and it can be an attack position too. So that's why I still like playing triple of them. We don't play Rhoda in the deck, but it is a warrior, not a pyro. So if you do want to add Rhoda in the deck, you can, just to search them out. The next card we play. So I actually play the 2 Laval Burner just because sometimes it can get hard to summon a level 8, especially for the X-Lord. So that's why I put him in the grave. Because if you have 3 or more Laval monsters with different names in your graveyard, you can special summon from your hand. So you try to send as many monsters as possible to the graveyard. So at some certain points, it's gonna be easy to summon this guy. So that's why I decided to put him in the deck. It does suck that he's not 200 defense though. For the next card play, 1 Laval Koto. Now this one, I did have it at 2, but we already have enough tuners in the deck, so I decided to just come down to 1. And also, like I said, it sucks that he's also not 200 defense. So we just don't want to flood it with a bunch of monsters in the grave that aren't 200 defense or aren't rekindling targets. So yeah, that's why we just play the 1, and also just to help extend with him as well. So that's why we play him at 1. For next card play, double Laval Lakeside Lady. At first I was going to play this card, but then I kind of thought about it, and we don't have too many like higher level tuners in the deck. So I decided to put her in the deck because we only have 2 and 1s, or level 1 and 2 tuners. And she kind of helps out to go into X-Lore really easily with either Burner or like with Archer and stuff. Like you can go into 7s and 8s really easily with her. And also she's a rekindling target, like I always say. So she's just really important. We probably won't use her effect too much, like her own effect, but like I said, we just like her for her level and that she's a tuner, so that we can go into our higher level tuners. Now for the non-Laval monsters, but like, you know, a bunch of fire monsters, we play triple Red Resonator. This card is great because you can go into a 6 really easily, or you can link, whatever you want to do with it. Red Resonator is hella cool for that. Also, it is a rekindling target too, like I always say. It's a rekindling target, so that's hella good about this card too. And also, if it's special summon, you get to gain back life. So, I mean, when wouldn't we want extra life points, right? For the next card we play, so we do play the double Inferno, just because sometimes if, like, you know, you get normal, but then you kind of don't have anything else, you can at least banish something from your grave and summon him. So it's just more of an extender, more than anything. If you don't have this card, you can always play the Spirit of Flame or whatever it's called. It's kind of like a big bulky dude looking. We can play that one instead. Whichever one. For that, we play him just because it's the only one I had. And like I said, it's an extender too, to either link or synchro or whatever you need him to do. For the next card we play is double Neo Flamevol Lady. I did have Laval Warrior in the deck, but he didn't have the 200 defense, so I cut that card out and I put this card instead because Flamevol Lady is kind of like a DD Crow for the deck, and also she can Foolish a fire monster with 200 defense. So that's why we play her, and yeah, she's just a really good card. And then for the last monster we play triple Ash. Now I don't have Sunlight Wolf in the extra deck, but if you do have any in the extra deck, because we play nothing but fires, I would suggest running that card too, because that way you can get your Ash back really easily, or any other fire monster that you like. But yeah, we play triple Ash, and also it's a Hulk target too, if you really need it to be a Hulk target. So that's why we play Ash, and Ash is just a good card, you know. Now we go on to the spells. So we play triple Monk Conduction Field. At first I didn't think I was going to play too many of this card, but then it's like, no, you kind of need to play it at 3. Just because with the Handmaiden thing, you can just send, basically, you end up sending like 5 of them, 5 monsters at the end of it. So yeah, so Monk Conduction Field is a really good card. Starts, you know, setting up the graveyard. And yeah, it's just a really good card. It's a Foolish, you know, on crack kind of basically for the deck. Obviously, we're going to be playing triple Rekindling. This card is broken. This is a monster born on crack. And yeah, so we, you know, Rekindling just broken. Get, you know, 5 monsters back if you have enough targets and stuff and enough space on the field. But yeah, Rekindling is just a great card. And it's great that it's back at 3. With this deck, I would suggest probably going second more because we probably don't have too many going first place. Well, I decided I wanted to be more of a go second, just because, like, you know, we can be susceptible to a lot of things, and then you just clear out your monsters, and then you're just kind of like, oh, now you're open. So I'd rather just go second with this deck. That's why we threw in the Dark Ruler no more, just in case you're going up against a pretty OP board. You can just drop this on them, and then you can just kind of, as long as your opponent's not playing too many back row, then you can go ahead and start doing some stuff without worrying about your opponent's monsters on field effects. For the next card play double Birth of the Prominence Flame. you know, at first I did think about running this at 3, but just because I don't want to end up banishing too much of my stuff, I'd cut it down to 2. Because what sucks about this, what's great about this card is you get to summon something basically for free. But it's not properly synchro summoned, so then you don't get that monster back. Like let's say you summon like Salamander off of this, you know, then you can't get it back with like Rekindling. You can't summon it back because it wasn't summoned properly. So that's why I cut it down to 2, just kind of have a more win more card. Because if you get like one monster out, and then you're like, oh, maybe I need another synchro out there or something to like end the game or something, or put pressure. Kind of use this just to summon the other monster. But like I said, what sucks is that it's not properly summoned, so you won't be able to bring it back with like Monster Reborn or Rekindling or any of that stuff. So that's why we only play at 2. For the next card we play double Magical Stone Excavation. So I saw this in Carry Twig's video. He played 3, and he's like, you know, I discard any 2 cards to get Rekindling back, which is very true because Rekindling is that broken. But I decided to cut it down to 2 just to make space for other cards. This is a 42 card deck. So if you want to add like Rhoda, you can make it a 43. Or if you want to add 3rd Magical Stone Excavation, you can. But I just decided 2 is enough. Just because maybe like late game, you don't want to draw it because it kind of does nothing. But yeah, so I just play at 2. And like what he said is true. You know, discarding 2, using 3 cards basically to get 1 card back from your grave. It's pretty nutty, especially a card like Rekindling that can summon back 5 monsters. So yeah, I agree with him 100% with that. Now for the one-ofs. So, since we play Red Resonator, I decided to play 1 Resonator Call, 1 Monster Reborn, 1 Pot of Avarice, 1 Mind Control, and Harpy's Feather Duster. Resonator Call just because it can, it can be like unexpected die. You know, you can kind of use it to bait out your opponent's Ash or something. And yeah, just a way to get to Red Resonator. Just because Red Resonator is a really good card, just to help you like go into synchros really easily and stuff, or link plays. So that's why I just play the one of, just because we only played, you know, we played 3 copies, but we only have 1 Resonator name in the deck. So I just play 1. Monster Reborn, just because Monster Reborn. Pot of Avarice, just because like if we do send all our hand medians, our Mon Conduction fields afterwards would be kind of like, you know, I don't want to say dead, because then you could discard it with cards like Magical Stone Excavation and stuff like that. But like, let's say you want to draw other cards in your deck, you know, Pot of Avarice, you can put your monsters back. Maybe you can draw into one of your, like into a Rekindling or a Magical Stone or something else that can help you. So that's why we play Pot of Avarice, just so we can put that back, and maybe we draw like another Mon Conduction field, and then we can kind of do it again. And then maybe draw like another power spell or something like that. So that's why we play Pot of Avarice in the deck, just to kind of reset those cards so they're just not dead in the deck. 1 Mind Control, because it's just kind of like a, you know, card that you can just, you know, use to bait your opponent out, or like maybe bait an effect like an Omni Negate. And also you can use it for link plays, synchro plays, whatever you want it to be. So that's why I play the Mind Control. And then Feather Duster, because we don't like back row back here. If you do play against a deck with a lot of back row, it's going to be a bad time. So yeah, so that's why I play the 1 Harpy's Feather Duster. Now, we go on to the extra deck. So, let's start off with double Laval Dragon. One's called Dragon, one's called Dragoon. It's going to be kind of hard to say both. But yeah, 1 Laval Dragon. So this one's great because it's not a once per turn. And then you can shuffle 2 Laval monsters from your graveyard into your main deck, then target 1 card your opponent controls, return to the hand. So it's a great non-destruction removal card, and also you can put some Laval monsters back. So I mean, obviously you can play 1 if you like. I run 2 of the Salamander and the Dragoon too, just because I feel like they're the cards we're going to go into the most. And if we go into it once, maybe your opponent gets over it, and you kind of don't have anything else. So that's why I play 2 of for each of the Laval monsters, just because you do kind of need them for later. Salamander is really good, and then Dragoon just helps you search. And then Dragon's great because you can get rid of stuff. And it's, like I said, it's not once per turn. So if you have a lot of stuff in the grave, you can go ham with it and start returning stuff to the hand. Now, for the next card play, double salamander. So it's great. This card's great as well because you can draw, and then if you have some like baby Laval monsters in your hand, you can get rid of them. You know, just more targets in the grave. And then salamander is great because you banish one, and then you can change face down monsters your opponent controls up to the number of Laval monsters you have on the field. Obviously, if it's by itself, you only do one. But let's say you have this, and like you can summon this in the extra monster zone. You activate Rekindling. You bring back a bunch of them. You banish another fire monster from your grave, and then depending how many monsters your opponent has, you can flip them off face down as long as they're not links. So yeah, it's a great card, and it's just a good draw card as well to help you maybe dig for your other spells too. So that's why I play the double. For next card to play, double Laval Dragoon. This card's great because it can search you out a Laval monster, and then you can send one. So like if you have like Lakeside Lady or like the Handmaiden, you can get rid of it. So that way it triggers the Handmaiden to then send another one. Now we can search out like your Warrior really easily or Archer. So that's why I just like playing 2, and just because we can go into 6s really easily. Red Resonator with a level 4 monster in hand can go into this really easily. So that's why I play it at 2. Now for the other fire synchro monsters, we play 1 Ancient Flameville Deity. It's a level 7. It's a great way to like deity crow your opponent's cards. Because when synchro summon, remove from play cards from your opponent's graveyard up to a number of cards in their hand. And then it gains 200 for each card banished. So even if it's just 1, it goes up to 27. If they have 3 cards, it goes to 31. So it can become a beat stick after that. So yeah, so that's why we play it at 1, just because it can get over stuff and it can maybe like DD crow some stuff. So that's why I like playing this card. The next card I play is 1 Shiranai Squire Saga. The only reason why I play this card is because it's a fire. It's a level 7. Because like I said, you can go into 7s pretty easily in this deck. And it's generic. And also its effect, if you banish like let's say a dragoon, or you're already going to deity, you can banish it and you can end up popping 2 cards on the field with this card. You won't get the zombie one, but you at least get the fire and synchro one. You can destroy a spell and trap and a monster, and it does not target. So that's why I put this card in the deck, because it can potentially pop 2 cards. For the next card to play, 1 Rhino Saber. So now with Deity is a rekilling target. A lot of the Laval monsters aren't, like Dragoon, Dragon. Salamander is. Squire Saga isn't a rekilling target. Rhino Saber I know is not a rekilling target, but he is hella good because you can discard a number of cards and you gain 700 for each card discarded. So he can become hecka big, and if you need to get over something for game, he can do that for you. And then also he can, at the end of the battle phase, you can tribute him, or is it tribute? You can send this card to the graveyard, special summon monsters from your graveyard whose totals level equals 7, except himself, but their effects are negated. So that way you can maybe like summon out like a level 3 tuner like Lakeside Lady and on an Archer, and then you can go into Salamander, and then you can like, draw cards or something. So yeah, Rhino Saber is really cool. And also it's a fire, so like I said, don't want to lock yourself out of fire. For the last synchro we play, 1 X-Lord. He's a beater. He can, get rid of stuff, or pops, stop a monster effect. Not stop it, but at least like interrupt it. And then also his last effect is really great because he can bring back stuff. So that's why we play the 1 of. One card I would also recommend is like Crimson Blader, because I feel like Bladers could be a really useful card in this format, because you want to stop those high level summons. Yeah, so that's another suggestion I was thinking is Crimson Blader, and he's a fire, so that helps out a lot. Now onto the links. 1 Hulk, because Hulk is Hulk, and it can tune out something from the deck. And yeah, Hulk is just Hulk. 1 Hita, because like let's say you mind control something and you kind of want to get rid of the monster because you don't want it on the field anymore. You can use this, with your monster and then theirs, because it just requires 1 fire monster. And also like if your opponent has like they use Ash, you can use this and bring back their Ash, and you can link up or use it for something else. 1 Phoenix, because it's a fire and pop spells and traps. We play one Heat Leo. Heat Leo is just there because, like with the Hita, you summon something from the grave, maybe from their grave, and then you can go to a Link 3. Heat Leo's, obviously you won't get a second effect because he didn't use himself. But like the first effect is great because you can get rid of Spell and Trap. So yeah, so it's just Heat Leo, just kind of more of a name. If you don't want to play this card, you can play Sunlight Wolf instead. Maybe if you like that instead, even though it's on Link 2. Just because you can get back maybe your fire monsters or like your ash and stuff. So it just depends what you want to play. But Helio is just a good card, you know. So I decided to put it in the deck. Also because it just needs 2 fire effect monsters. So that's why we're playing it. And then for the last card, one is our Yugioh Skull Dread. I mean, if you want to play like Boral Sword, Borlo, whatever you can. I like Saryuja just because like if you do Rekindling, you can like summon a bunch of stuff and then you can link it to him, and then you can draw into your deck to get like, you know, your power spells and stuff. Maybe you draw another Rekindling, we don't know. So yeah, so that's why I just like Saryuja, just because you can dig through your deck and stuff. So that's why I play that one. But that is it for the deck profile, you guys. Let me know down in the comments below how you like to play your Laval deck. Maybe any other cards I missed out, I could have added in. I don't have Boost Warrior. I would have maybe added that. But I don't have access to that card right now. So that's maybe one suggestion. I don't know, somebody might say. But yeah, let me know down in the comments anything else I've missed for this deck. Hopefully, maybe we get more Laval support in the future. Konami, hello, please. So yeah, but make sure you guys follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook to stay updated with us here at YuGiBOOM. And make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and thanks for watching. Have a good one.